Hey everyone, welcome to part 4 of this Baldur's Gate 3 trophy and achievement walkthrough. We're running up into this area, kind of where we started the main part of the game, where we had to fight some intellect devourers right outside the overgrown ruins, and I wanted to crouch down here just to show you this tooltip about remaining obscured. So if you're in a bright area, you'll be fully visible, so hiding isn't very easy for you there, and you can also be lightly obscured if you're in shadow, or heavily obscured if you're in darkness. Obviously, when you're sneaking around, you want to be as heavily obscured as possible, otherwise the enemy will be able to see you a lot easier. So I've done some sneaking around in the past sections, but I never really called out what it is you're looking for or how to be the best at sneaking around. So always be looking at the indicators in the bottom left corner to show you exactly how well hidden you are. Well, we're just going to follow this path around, and we're going to get up to kind of where this nautiloid crashed before, and we're going right into that big black circle in the middle of that map. So we're just going to run right around this fire here. Don't run in the fire or you're going to, light yourself on fire and take some damage. We're just going to keep running up until we see this purple glowing circle over here, and we're going to go up and talk to it.
Is that real? It doesn't look all right.
Doesn't really matter who you choose because it's always going to default to your main character when you talk to it.
You are unable to speak. You approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning. It looks slightly dangerous.
Touch the sigil.
A hand? Anyone?
Strength. Grab the hand and pull. We get a skill check just looking for number 7. Let's go ahead and roll the dice. And we get not only a success, but a critical success.
That's it! Go on! Keep pulling! Ah! Oh. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. I'm usually better at this.
No need to apologize. Are you all right?
A bit shocked, but friend, it's a relief and a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Nautiloid as well.
I was, yes.
And I can only assume you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region.
Go on.
The insertee we speak of, this parasite, are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it will turn us into mind flayers? It's a process known as ceremorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided. You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor? Surgeon? Uncannily adroit with a knitting needle?
Can't say that I am.
We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more and look for a healer together?
Sounds like a plan. You're welcome to join me.
Oh, but I see you're traveling with plenty of company already. Perhaps I can join you later instead.
I'll make my way to your camp and embark upon a succulent slow cook to be consumed upon your return.
Well, just like that, we recruited Gale, another member to our team. We do have a trophy associated just to him, and we're going to be doing that a little bit later on. Morally, Gale is a very good character, so if you want to earn favor with him, just be a good guy. Help people out with their requests and just be kind to people. You will lose favor if you're unnecessarily aggressive. He really shares the trait with Shadowheart that if you can get through a situation non-violently just by using persuasion, he will like that just the way that Shadowheart does. So we're going to continue on, and we're going to go up through this area. We can jump over the fire here instead of running through it, and our other characters are are going to hop over along with us. They are smart enough to do that, and I really appreciate that. We're going to just keep following this path up all the way to the top, and then we're going to stick over toward the left-hand side. So we're going to get to this intersection, and then we're going to turn left. This right over here on the right-hand side is where we fought a battle. That is where we were able to kind of figure out where the grove is. We'll be doing that a little bit later on. It's also where we got the shove-off trophy, just so that you can kind of put that together in your mind. But now we're going to keep going down along this path. So we ran right past that whole area, and now we're going into the forest area. There's some more resources that you can pick up along the way. Make sure you're grabbing all of that stuff. So you can grab the mugwort for the salts of mugwort recipe, and you can grab some other things along the way too. And we're just going to keep running right along this path until we can come to the little walkway up ahead here. So you can see this bridge. We're just going to go right over the bridge here. There's a whole bunch of chests and stuff on this cart. Go ahead and loot through all of this stuff. Once you're all done with looting, we're just going to go down, and you can see a bunch of dead adventurers and dead goblins and things down here. Let's go over and just loot through all of there. The first guy that we come to has some like trap disarm tools and thieves tools. A really good person to loot there. Next guy has some scrolls for us, and then the goblin has just a little bit of money and some other stuff that's not very useful. Other guy here, he has some gold on him and just some other random things. And one of the guys, the dead goblin, has the goblin's drawing. We can actually go ahead and read through that one. Remember to read everything that you come across. You have to read 100 different things throughout a playthrough, so just always be looking for books and scrolls and things to pick up and read. Well, once you've collected everything around here for the loot, what we're going to do is head over toward the left side of this big gated wall. We're not going to go in there just yet. That's for another time. Instead, we're going to keep hopping down these little ledges here until we get down to the bottom. At the bottom here, there are two trees. If you run toward the left, you can go down a trail that basically leads to nothingness, so you can avoid this, but the characters are talking, so I'll let you listen to that.
Do you think your kin search for you, Blazer?
I know they do not. It is my responsibility to cleanse myself.
They pursued the Nautiloid. Perhaps they were trying to free you.
A vain notion. I am one of many, and will not be a burden to my queen.
Make sure to look around for things on the ground to pick up, like the rogue's morsel. You can get new recipes and stuff whenever you just pick up things on the ground. Remember that you can push down that right analog stick, the R3 button on the PlayStation controller. That allows you to see what's around you, and it makes it pretty easy to pick things up as you go. And now we're just going to keep going down this path. Looks like some people down here are arguing, so let's go ahead and check it out. You don't need to sneak through here. I thought that maybe I could get an ambush on these guys, but really they're just not hostile toward us. We just want to go up and start talking to them.
Lads, for the love of all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see me, Rena.
Just let her go. Please.
You there? Please, I don't know what's come over these boys. I just want to go home.
The old woman's face creases with false concern. You realize she's lying about seeing this girl, Mayrina.
Stop this. We won't ask again.
How about you all just calm down? What's going on here?
Careful. Don't trust a word out of her mouth. Our sister went to the hag, and we ain't seen her since.
Hand over heart, I don't know their sister. I will gladly help you all look for her, though.
Enough. Where is she?
Tell the truth. What did you do to their sister?
Bollocks! You were supposed to rush to my defense, love. Fat lot of good you are. Some advice? You ever darken my door, you'd best have that head bowed and an apology at the ready. Bye-bye now.
Bloody hells. She just disappeared. Ain't seen nothing like that before.
She could shoot fireworks out of her backside for all I care. The hag has Rena.
Will someone please tell me what's going on?
It's our sister, Mayrina. Well, she was in a bad way after her husband died.
Started saying weird things, like how she was gonna bring him back.
Next thing, she's gone looking for the hag. Of all the stupid things to do. And we haven't seen her since. And no good ever came from dealing with a hag.
None of this matters, all right? We need to get her back, and fast.
I'll bring Mayrina home.
Are you joking? I ain't got a clue who you are. No way I'm leaving Rena to you.
But, Joel...
Not a chance. We're getting her back on our own. Now, come on.
Well, something's really strange about that old woman. Let's kind of follow these guys down, but instead of following them directly, we're going to turn right, and there's a whole bunch of camping supplies up at the top here, a bunch of like carrots and potatoes and stuff. Let's go ahead and just grab all of this stuff, and then we're going to hop down the ledges a little bit lower on.
Chill runs up your spine. You feel like you're being watched.
Investigation. Look for anything out of the ordinary. Now this is a skill check of 20, and unfortunately it's very hard to do, so I'm going to give it my best, but as you'll see, when I roll the dice, it comes off as not a success for us. So we do fail this one, and we're able to just proceed without learning really anything here.
The place has a quiet sense of calm.
As we head down here, I would really suggest that you have Astarion as your main character as you're running through, just because there's a ton of traps around here and he's very good at spotting them. So as you get to the water's edge, you'll start to see traps all around you. Be very careful as you walk through the water here. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong if you step in the wrong spot. So take your time and walk through here, and what we want to do is just kind of go through this area. You'll see a lot of things like these baskets with some food in there. That's not great food to eat, so do not eat any of that stuff as you go along here.
You know what I really miss about Baldur's Gate? The food. Freshest fish I've ever had.
I don't care for fish. Red meat, now, that's a different matter. Rare as can be. Dripping.
I love how little bits of audio like that just build the world and let you learn things very subtly about characters, and there's a reason for the things that they say like that, and we'll be discussing those at a later point. You're going to hear a frog in this area. I would highly recommend you do not talk to him now. If you talk to him now, you have to fight him, and that's not recommended. Instead, wait till later, because then he'll give you a treasure, so don't do as I'm doing.
The frog's entire body shakes. It ribbits erratically as if in pain.
Animal handling. Come here. It's all right. We get a skill check of 10 for this, so let's go ahead and roll the dice and see what we get. All right, we got a 12 plus 1 and then another 2, so we definitely succeeded.
It shies away, croaking a warning, eyes wide in terror.
Who's a good froggy? Okay, and now we're thrown into a fight. This is not what you want to do, so I'm going to show this fight just to show you what it's like. However, it is not recommended. Once again, do not interact with this frog. Save it for a later point. We have to kind of finish a side quest first in order to talk to the frog and have it be happy with us, and then we can get the treasure that it's guarding instead. So what we're going to do is just run forward. It has incredibly high defenses just because it has these mirror images, and we're not able to hit it very easily like that. So even with a couple attacks, we're not going to be able to hit it, but it will lose those mirror images upon successful failed attacks, I guess is the best way to say that. So if you miss, they still go away, and then we're able to make it a little bit easier to hit him. He's going to just try to keep poisoning us and throwing out a lot of big clouds of nastiness that can affect all of our party members who are nearby. It does a ton of damage, so I fought this one very poorly just because I kind of got caught off guard with this. I thought I was doing the right thing. It does reflect things back to us, so don't use range attacks either because you'll end up taking more damage. It's just a really nasty little frog, so you don't want to fight him at all like this, and I'll just let this one play out. There's not a whole lot to say about it other than just keep trying to pummel away at it if you have to fight him, but you shouldn't be fighting him. If you've listened to me say it about 5 times now, don't talk to the frog right now. You do not want to fight this guy. Our main attack missed, but we're going to use our bonus action to do Flurry of Blows Stagger. We still don't have a great shot at hitting this guy, but we'll see what we can do. And on the second of the 2 attacks, we do actually get the Stagger, and that takes away 5 of his 8 health. So we're in a lot better shape now. We're just going to move the monk out of the way. It's Astarian's turn, and I know that range attacks aren't going to work because he'll just bounce them right back, so let's get a little bit closer, and then we're going to use a main hand attack to see if we can hit him. Only a 30% chance of hitting him, and of course we missed. So let's just move Astarian out of the way, and that will make room for Shadowheart to come in. So we're going to run over here. Now remember, she's equipped with the weapon, that new spear that we got in the last episode that allows us to get the True Strike ability even if we miss with an attack. So we're going to use this rush attack here, see what we can do with this, and it is unfortunately going to miss. But at least we get True Strike to activate, so now the next attack will have an advantage against him. We're going to take a second to do a little bit of healing. We can select the healing word, and then we're also going to use now a level 2 spell to use a little bit stronger healing magic to give more health over to our monk, who is in pretty bad shape right now. So with that out of the way, let's just move Shadowheart so that there's a little bit of room for Lae'zel to come in, and then she will come on by, and luckily, because we do have that True Strike activated, we're able to then get an advantage on this guy, and that's going to help us out a lot. So we're going to go ahead and use our weapon. We're just going to try a Pommel Strike, the bonus action starting off here. Let's go ahead and use that on him. So the enemy is staggered, has True Strike, and we have only 30% chance of hitting, but we do get the hit anyway, and that's the end of that fight. Now, of course, like I said before, you shouldn't have fought the frog, but not all is lost, even if you did defeat him, because if you have high enough perception, you are able to still find his treasure as you go through here. So as we were going down, Astarian lost that little skill check to see if anything was amiss in the area, and if you had succeeded there, you would have figured out that, yeah, there's something really weird going on with this frog. That's the guy that was watching you. So not a big deal at this point. We're just going to continue on and then come back a little bit later on when we can actually get that treasure located for us. Down in the water here, there's some reinforced equipment. There's a reinforced greatsword and a reinforced helmet. Let's go ahead and grab these things from the water, and then we're going to head up those stairs on our right side. There's the wooden steps going up. We're going to run up those things, and then that will take us up to the upper level. There's a path over on the left side, but there's a cabin over on the right side, and we want to go inside this cabin first. This is where Auntie Ethel is, so we're going to go over into this cabin and see what she's up to.
Please don't remind me. But keep your guard up.
I don't want a crumb left on that plate, girl.
Auntie Ethel, please. One more bite and this pie is gonna come back up to say hello.
Don't make me get the wooden spoon. You're eating for 2, so get to it. If it isn't the cheekiest pup of them all, you'd best have one hells of an apology for me, young man.
You'll get no apology from me, hag.
I do like the mouthy ones. I was gonna give you a swift kick up the arse and show you the door, but I think you and I could have a bit of fun together. Gods grant me patience. Eat up, Mayrina. I won't say it again.
That's Mayrina. Where are her brothers?
My brothers, you saw them.
They stopped by to pass on their congratulations. Said they'll be waiting for you at home.
Oh. But why didn't they come in to see me?
All they left was a message, which I passed on, didn't I? Don't be stressing. And you, hush. Don't be upsetting the girl with such things.
Answer the question, where are her brothers?
You cheeky thing. Sutton Farm, north of Baldur's Gate. Check if you like. But I think you have bigger problems. That wriggler swimming in your brain juice is a bit of an inconvenience, isn't it?
How do you know that?
Because you stink. And I know the stench of Mind Flayer anywhere. I can tell you're almost done cooking. You know, you could turn, just like that. What do you say? Want me to take care of the little bugger?
She is way too shady. I'll take my chances on my own.
Ah, good luck with that. But don't you fret, Petal. I'm sure you'll make a very pretty Mind Flayer.
Do not, under any circumstances, let the hag try to help you. All it's going to do is remove your eye, and then you're going to get a lot of disadvantages for doing that. She doesn't cure you, she doesn't really even help you in any way, shape, or form, so do not let her help you. Instead, what we're going to do is to keep her alive for a little while, because she can be of use to us. Inside our house, there are a lot of things that you can read and pick up, a lot of different resources around here. So go ahead, read through this book on basic poisons, and you get the recipe for one, and then you can go around and loot a bunch of things. We got the pop-up there about crimes, and we are technically stealing things. Anything that's in red around the world, as you look around, you can pick those up, and if you're caught by the person who owns that place, then you will lose favor with them, and that's not so good, especially if it's a merchant, because if the merchant does not like you, then they charge you more when you go to buy things from them, and we don't want that. So go around and ransack our house, but try not to be seen.
Tempers are rising. It's clear not everything you find is at your disposal.
Unlike a lot of other RPGs,
to run
you actually
into people's
can't
homes
just
and
run
take
into
whatever you want
houses
to,
and steal whatever
this is
you
not one
want
of those
to.
games.
So
Typically,
you want
games
to be a
with
little bit
morality
stealthier
systems,
about that
they
one as
don't
you
let
go around
you
and
just
collect
take whatever
everything
you
from
want
the house.
to.
So you got to be a little bit sneaky and take things without being seen.
Well, now that we have
and
everything
once
that we
really
have
need
collected
for right
everything
now, we're just
that we
going
want
to
to
work our way
we're
back
gonna run down
downstairs,
and then we're going
and
to
I
talk
am
to
going to
Auntie
just
Ethel
kinda
once again.
pause right, and this time we're going to start to trade with her.
Sweetness. What do you say? Want me to take care of the little bugger?
Okay, so we're here to trade. Option number 2. And right now, we have a whole bunch of things in our inventory that we don't need. We've just been collecting all kinds of stuff, all weapons from dead, looted enemies, everything like that. So just go through here and just sell all that kind of stuff. She's got a good chunk of gold. You can see that on the top of her inventory screen. We're just going to go ahead and try to get as much of her gold as we can. We're not trying to pickpocket her, although you can do that to try to steal some gold. But if she catches you, then that's really bad. It starts a fight, and we don't want to do that just yet. So go through and then sell off a whole bunch of stuff here. You can also purchase some interesting things from her. She has an elixir of the Hill Giant. What that does is it sets your strength to 21 until you do a long rest. That can be really effective, and we are actually going to be using those a little bit later on with our monk, because we'll get an ability that really goes off of our strength stat, and we lowered our strength to increase our dexterity, so we'll be able to kind of supplement that with that elixir a little bit later on. And she also has some Hill Giant fingers. You can buy those, and if you get enough of them, then you can actually get the recipe for crafting those elixirs yourself. So it might be worthwhile just to pick that up if you've got enough gold from selling off all of your old junk. And now I'm just going to speed through this so that we can get on with it.
Here for whatever you need, Petal.
We managed to get all but 10 of her gold, so I think that that was a big win for us. Now we're going to head out the door, and what we can do is to jump down to the lower level. So we'll just jump down all these little rocky places here, and there's going to be a well next to us. Let's go ahead and interact with that.
Fresh, sweet-smelling water gurgles gently below.
Let's drink from the well.
The warm rush of power flows through you. You feel stronger, faster, better.
From the well, let's head down the path and through this archway. On the right side is a trail leading up, and at the top is a man. You can talk to him, but be careful because some of the dialogue options will cost him his life.
Ah, stranger. Forgive the aroma.
You catch a waft of something foul, metallic, and sickly sweet.
Powdered iron vine. An old hunter's trick. Most monsters will think twice before making a meal of me.
You're a monster hunter. I'm surprised. I thought all Gale were vagrant cutthroats.
Say nothing.
And more. We steal chickens, curse your crops, seduce your daughters, the list goes on. I wish I had half the power settled folk think my people possess. Alas, I am a simple wanderer. A simple wanderer and monster hunter. But I'm no witch doctor or cutthroat.
If I were a cutthroat, I wouldn't admit it either.
True. And I have no proof to offer but my word. If you wish it, our paths need not cross again. I'm hunting a vampire spawn, and it's a little too bright for you to be my prey. I fear he's gone to ground. I hope the hag of these lands can help me flush him out, if I can afford her blood price.
A vampire spawn? Why?
You're asking why a monster hunter would hunt a monster?
Just so. Vampires are godless parasites. We do not need a reason to destroy them. But in this case, it is a sacred mission from the head of my tribe. She sent me here to capture the beast and return it to her.
Capture? And bring it where?
Baldur's Gate. My people wait for me there.
Under all the smiles, you can feel Astarion's tension. He's coiled like a spring, hand inching towards his weapon.
Cough and give Astarion a warning look.
Is your friend ill? I have some tea that might help.
No. I'm quite well. We should go, but you have fun tracking your monster.
Why not join us? We could use a monster hunter.
No, I mean, we have different quests. I wouldn't want to distract this fellow from his path any more than he'd want to lead us from ours.
The elf is right. I have my own road to walk. A road that leads me straight to a hag's den, alas. But I wish you well. Be safe.
If you let Astarion go in that conversation and not interrupt him, Astarion will just stab him in the face and kill him. And that could be good if you want to loot his body and get a crossbow. That gives you advantages when fighting against monstrosity type enemies. However, I'm going to be nice and let him live just so that we can interact with him later on in the game as well. So whether he lives or dies here right now doesn't really matter so much for the trophies that we're trying to get. However, later on, if you do interact with him at a later point in the game, after you learn a little bit more about Astarion, then you can actually do things to screw some trophies up. So I would say just let him live for right now and just don't worry so much about that one. We're just going around this area here, clearing out the map. As you go through the map and clear it out, you can get some experience, so it's always a good idea to run around and explore things. You can also pick up some new items as you go along here too. There's always going to be resources around the world that you can pick up, and that's good for crafting and other things. So here's a little camp here. We're just going to go ahead and pick some stuff up around here as we go. We can get some nice supplies that helps us when we go to camp and to do some resting. We're just going to pick up everything as we go along here. Over here, there's also a dirt mound that we can go ahead and dig in. Remember, we have to dig up 5 of these throughout the world in one playthrough so that we can get a trophy for that. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. Let's go ahead and just pick it all up. And then we're just going to finish looting this place and then move on. Once we're done with the looting, we'll go back to the path and then over toward the right side. You can go in the water, and straight ahead of you toward the right, that's kind of a dead end. So instead, we're going to go through this middle part here. Be careful of traps as you go along. Ahead of us is a loving note and a wicker basket. Let's go see what's inside that basket. Well, there's a juicy apple inside there, and let's see what that loving note has to say. Take a breather, lovelies, and have a bite to eat on me, Auntie E. Well, we know not to trust her at all, so do not eat that apple because it's going to end up very poorly for you. So here's the intersection where we met those brothers of Marina, and we went down here for that skill check, and we saw the frog and everything. So now that we're here, we basically have just come full circle. We've explored all of this area. There is a quest, get help from Auntie Ethel over here. We're not going to be completing that one anytime soon, but you can see that, yeah, we've explored this whole area. Now we're going to go up into this section over here on the map. So let's turn around, and then we're going to run up this hill. When you get to the fork here by this big rock, we're going to turn and go toward the left side. We haven't explored this direction so far, so we're able to go and see new things up in this part of the forest. So keep running up, and then what you'll want to do is hang a left here, and you can run down here. You'll see this broken bridge area. We can go right across the bridge. You'll see a cart up ahead. When you get to this broken down cart, stick toward the left side, run around these rocks toward the left, and that will take you down a path over to a bridge that takes you left, and that will eventually take us down to the Goblin Camp. Well, that's going to do it for part 4 of this series. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm really enjoying this series going along because I get to learn a whole lot about this and then present those things to you of what to do and what not to do. I hope that you find it enjoyable, and I hope that you find it informative. If you did, please be sure to give me a like and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, so that you can stay up to date with the rest of the series as well. I promise you will not regret joining our community. So until next time, thanks for watching and have a good day.